On this episode of Brio TV, the podcast, we head back into the vault for an interview with one of the late great ladies of Canadian television. Hi, welcome to the podcast. I'm your host, Bill Brio. From time to time, we get out our digital flashlights and head back into the vault, this giant vault of interviews I've kept and collected over the years in a career covering television. This is from a conversation I had in 2014, about a dozen years ago, and it was with the one and only Dinah Christie. The actress, host, and singer passed away April 10th at 83. She brought just a beaming ray of sunshine to all of her endeavors, very fondly remembered by Canadian viewers for her work in the 60s through the 80s. Most people who watch this hour has 22 minutes, for example, watch that sitcom, that sketch show today, don't have any idea the title of that series was an homage to perhaps the greatest current affairs show ever in Canada. This Hour Has 7 Days. The mid-60s classic featured two taboo-busting journalists, Patrick Watson and Laurier Lapierre, and Christie was their girl Friday, which is what the name they gave her at the time, singing sneaky little protest songs between the hard news items and the very clever political ambushes on that series. While the nervous public broadcaster shut the series down after 2 seasons, Christie went on with her folk singing and cabaret career until landing the job as part of the home team on Party Game, an after-school hour charades fest, which also featured Billy Van and Captain Jack Duffy. Dismissed as an inexpensive little time filler, Party Game really was Canada's Tonight Show. It was a star-making forum for Canadian actors, singers, and comedians. You could see them letting their hair down in a rec room, shag carpet setting, and always likable Christie was the big reason this thing lasted 11 seasons. Now, in the 80s, she was paired with John Adams of Get Smart fame for a Canadian sitcom set in a grocery store called Check It Out. And to paraphrase one of the Get Smart catchphrases, memory-challenged Adams would generally miss his cues by that much. Christie lived out her days with her husband on a farm property a few hours north of Toronto. She was as beloved in that community as she was by TV audiences across Canada. Prior to recording this conversation, I hosted a session of the short-lived Canadian International Television Festival in Toronto, and this one saluted Christie's work on 7 Days as well as on Party Game. Now, I had some follow-up questions. That's what is recorded on this call. So here she is from 2014, the warm, the wonderful Dinah Christie.
Would you like to talk about seven days?
Well, just a couple of things to follow. I know we talked a bit about this on stage, but that unbelievable scene at the end with those Klansmen. You mentioned that it was taped ahead of time because no one was sure how it would go. That's correct?
I'm going to check with PW on that. Do you want me to phone you back?
Well, let's carry on, and I'll ask a few more. But
that's how I remember it. I remember understanding that was very, very smart of them in that it could have gone 87 different ways,
right.
And who knows what agreement, in fact, they had made with the Wizards. As stupid as they were smart enough to not just wander up to Canada for any old interview, you know?
Right. It was hilarious to see all that cigarette smoke and how tense that was. Your memory of it was that it was a pretty tense situation.
Oh yeah, and very silent. We didn't. I didn't know it was on the boards. Not that they shared that sort of stuff with the token blonde, but I didn't need to know. Nobody needed to know that one was going to happen.
Did you have and I sort of asked this before, but did you have a sense that this show that you were part of was something really live and dangerous?
Oh Oh, I knew it before they even asked me to come in and audition it, but it was so special because it bit at the heels of all of the things Canadians find distasteful, and it acknowledged the prairie. So I was in prairie for 2 or 3 weeks when they wanted me to come back and forth, and the minute I would mention that I'm just going to slip out on Sunday morning and fly back on Tuesday, to continue the run, they would say 7 days, and they were just clamoring for any news at all about it. So to just be in another part of Canada, and they were jumping up and down in only a 6-month period of having viewed it,
So that the show made an effort to not just be Toronto-centric, is what you're saying.
Oh,
yeah, wow,
absolutely. Mm-hmm. And because Laurier was from another part of the world, and we had reporters from all over the country contributing.
Jack Webster in BC.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I'd love to see that energy in that man. He was such a blustering, wonderful guy.
It's hilarious to see him just say, "Shut up." Shut up. That was great.
So Jack. It was so Jack.
Yeah. The fellow who moderated that Klan session, his name was White?
Robert, no, that was Bob, damn, Robert, oh, no, not White. You mean the smoker? The guy who kept lighting up, yeah. No, that was Bob. Oh, damn. You've got to check on that. Just call up 7 Days, darling, and find out one of the regular contributors.
That's fine.
Are you at your computer?
His first name was Bob.
Robert.
I'll find it.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah. Glasses, buck teeth, slightly buck teeth, yeah.
Yeah, he seemed pretty unflappable.
Oh, no, they put him in there for a reason, because Patrick and Laurier would have gone for Laurier would have gone for the jugular.
Wow.
and Bob was just very, very tough and strong.
More from the late, great Dinah Christie after this short message. Well, it's time once again to speak with Emily Gagne at Hollywood Suite. Emily, what do you got for us this month?
It's all about books on film this month, Bill.
Wait a minute, Emily. You mean that some of these films are based on books?
You are right.
Oh,
you
my
heard
goodness.
that right.
Wow.
Yeah, we're talking, Fight Club, Pride and Prejudice, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, It, The Wiz, Cape Fear, the 90s one.
Emily, if you're reading a book called Fight Club, what is it? Just go, and then you hit him with the left, and then hit him with the right for like 800 pages?
Well, you'll just have to watch to find out, won't you?
All right, we'll check it out. What's your favorite all-time film based on a book?
I don't think you can beat To Kill a Mockingbird.
Great choice. Gregory Peck, classic, very good. I think I like The Little Engine That Could, which was one of those little books you got when you were 4. I don't think that's a film, though, Emily.
I was going to say, what film is that, Bill?
It's probably not a film. Anyway, you've got real films based on books at Hollywood Suite. How much does it cost?
Just $6 a month most places.
That's crazy. You can't even buy a book for that.
No, you can't. I actually was at a bookstore yesterday, and it cost me more than $6.
See? Okay, Hollywood Suite, $6, 100% Canadian. Emily, thanks again.
Thanks, Bill.
Now more from that 2014 interview with Dinah Christie.
When it was getting close to the episode, I understand, was the Stephen Truscott case where Laurier Lapierre teared up, and then that seemed to be the excuse the CBC used to kill the show, right?
Oh, yeah, that truly was the excuse. You're right. They were waiting. They were just looking, desperately trying to find something any of us had done to bring it down.
Why? I know it sounds like such a naive question, but it was...
Well, I think it's because they felt that there was no respect given them. That simple, pure, middle-aged, stupid, non-thinking Patrick and Laurier and Douglas Leiterman, of course, knew what they wanted to do, and they informed the Kremlin at all times of what they were going to do. What they were going to do. That's what it was called. That you
The
used
Kremlin.
it. It was called. Oh yeah, everybody called it the Kremlin. And they used to watch the rehearsals. Get this, you'll love this. It's right up your alley. They used to watch the rehearsals. And there would be times when I'd come in Sunday morning first thing, because literally we had the day to get it ready, and then it was live at 8 or 9 or whatever. And I would come in and Laurier or Patrick, but usually Patrick, because he was really director on the floor, would come over and say, "Oh, okay, see the lyrics in your script?" And I say, "Yeah." He says, "Scan them a little." I said, "Okay." And so he would hand me another piece of paper, and he said, "All through rehearsals, this is the lyric that you're going to be singing, because the Kremlin watches all the rehearsals."
Oh my God!
All the rehearsals.
That's amazing.
So I would sing a totally different lyric about ice cream and balloons and shit, whatever. And then suddenly, bang, live, it would come out and they would go, ah! And this was the first thing you hear. It takes a worried man. That was the first thing you would hear. And whatever lyrics that Maver had written for that weekend, obviously asked for by Patrick and got by Maver, just sending the absolutely right stuff and then hitting it as hard as Patrick wanted to hit it. And then suddenly I'd be singing new lyrics that the Kremlin had never heard all day.
So as far as the Kremlin was concerned, the inmates were running the asylum.
Yes, quote yourself. That's really right on the money.
It's amazing.
And they've been warned. They had been warned. The boys had been warned. But this is such insanity, and no one had a real reason to have warnings like this coming down. And all of the things, those two guys are so smart and so clean. They kept the area clean. That's why these guys couldn't find anything. And then finally Laurier having a tear. He's a Frenchman. Come on.
Right.
So that's what they went over. I mean, so that was just, everybody knew that was a joke.
Did you think that the show might come back?
No. We all hoped. We just knew when we saw those people picketing and nobody cared. There were, I swear to you, my darling, it's 110, 120 people, and that was for like 4 or 5 days.
Wow.
And that just didn't happen in those days in Canada, and frankly, it doesn't even happen now much.
No.
Getting out there and walking with a complaint in your hand.
Where was it taped?
Jarvis. You remember when we do? Yeah, it was the studios at the back of the lot, so it would be the westernmost studios at Jarvis Street, behind all the big old buildings that were radio.
Not the radio building, but yeah, I got
No.
you.
Yeah.
And there was a live studio audience?
Sometimes there was, yeah. Most of the time there was. Wow. But then there were times where I don't really remember that many people being there, so I don't know what the reasons would have been. But certainly, when I was there from the beginning, there were audiences crunched in and crunched around with the cameras, giving them the room they needed.
Who was the Kremlin? Who was in charge?
I have no idea. That's the other thing. Trying to find out. I bet you today you can't find out who they are.
Probably not.
I mean, really, you know?
That's funny.
I told you about that thing in the elevator in Washington, didn't I?
About the guy that was it somebody in the
Senate senators.
Thing? Yeah, 2 senators. Yeah. And tell me that story again. They said.
Well, they recognized me, and I said, "Well, how come?" And they said, "Are you kidding? We go into to our offices first thing Monday morning, and we've got a list of things that are all printed there from the high above, and first thing they see on the list every Monday morning is get the tape, and sit down and listen to watch 7 days and see what they've done this time."
Wow. Yeah. No.
And then they both said they love it. They both said they all love it.
Wow.
They can't wait to come in Monday mornings and watch it.
Yeah. You know, with the Daily Show and Bill Maher and everything today, don't you think that this show would be just
to come back?
Yeah.
Oh, it would be so hot. And especially live, like the boys do it.
Yeah.
At least John doesn't. It would be so hot, and this country deserves it now, man. You know, I mean, there's been some positions that have been taken, and some awarenesses that have been made that are shared now Canadian wide.
Yeah.
Maybe we weren't so much in touch in the '60s with each other, and that's one of the big reasons that 7 days was a big deal. But now we are in touch with each other in this day and age, and now's the time to be as creative and clever and funny and serious that those boys were. And we've got a lot of heavyweights around here who can do it.
Yeah.
I'd get David Suzuki in on advising so fast.
Yeah.
If I was doing it.
Who else would you have host?
You. I would definitely. Honey, you have a bizarre ability, and it's very rare, to not vanish into the distance when you need to. Not that, but I know your interest and your agreement is such, at least with what we were dealing with the other day, that you become partner in it, and therefore doesn't feel like an interviewer and a person. It feels like friends talking, and that's it. You cannot buy it, you cannot learn it, you cannot do anything but naturally have it. I would get you there in a minute.
Well, I'm humbled that you would suggest that. Thank you.
And you know, one of the first people we would interview just for fun, Leonard.
Oh my
Cohen,
goodness, no kidding.
He still have it. He's my buddy, but he still has his brains.
Oh, no kidding. Yeah, no, I mean, and he'd be smoking.
Oh,
He'd go back to smoking. He said when he turned 80, he was going to light up again. I thought that was hilarious. What the hell? Let's go.
Did you see John this past week when he somehow had his hands on a cigarette and he came close to it and he said to the cigarette, "I miss you so." I miss you so. It was sweet.
No kidding.
Oh dear.
That's funny.
I mean, we'd find somebody wonderful from the prairies or BC. And a Frenchman or have a French woman, a French girl be the third part. You know, there was always contributing people, and they were always on camera.
Wow.
Like Bob. God damn, it's right there.
Yeah.
They were always on camera. They were always very much their own people, and you felt like the questions were theirs. And that's a huge, again, sharing ability that one would write into the structure.
Yeah,
I would.
I think too. And when I was writing the story, it seemed that you guys were getting behind a cause, but the cause now is the CBC. You know, I mean, you know what it is.
You are so right. You're so right.
And this would be the show that could get behind that cause. I think.
I've got a song. I've just recorded a song, and it's going into Toronto momentarily to be mastered. And it's called "They're Locking Up the CBC," and I cannot tell you the reaction that everybody has when they hear the song.
Oh man, I gotta hear that.
You're going to love it. Give me an address. The only one I have is a collector's item, and I had written it and recorded it 2 days before the CBC came out and said, "We are distancing ourselves from a man called Jean Gameshi."
Oh my God.
So in this song that I'm sending you, at one point I refer to Harper, and another point I say, "And though they rarely hire me, Jean swears that they admire me, still they're locking up the CBC." Okay?
You see, this is the interesting thing. A show like 7 Days, I remember reading a quote Tommy Smothers said that the reason their show was effective in the late 60s was they had a backboard. They had the Nixon. You need a bad guy to bounce the ball off of. You need to have that opposition, and I think in Canada with Harper,
lots of choices.
Yeah, you've got that again. That scenario. It would be fascinating to see it.
We'll be right back. May is set to be an adrenaline-fueled month on Paramount+. The excitement begins on May 15th with the global debut of Dutton Ranch. The Yellowstone sequel features fan favorites Beth and Rip as they gamble on a new life in South Texas. The momentum continues on May 21st with the return of SkyMed as Season 4 takes flight in the unforgiving Canadian North. This month also features the historical thriller Nuremberg, debuting May 6. Sports fans have a front row seat on May 10 for live Zuffa boxing. From the gritty law enforcement of Marshals, with the season finale streaming May 25th, to the weekly mysteries of From, and the streaming debut of Bob Hart's Abishola on May 15th, Paramount Plus is delivering a powerhouse lineup of premium entertainment from start to finish. Here she is again, Dinah Christie.
The other thing, obviously with Party Game, I mean, as much as I just loved watching it, it was so much fun, but it did seem back then that this was an opportunity to see Canadian talent, the stage or TV.
To meet them, and that's right. And suddenly the National Ballet became really hotshot stuff because people would come backstage, they wanted to meet the players of charades that were in the ballet. The kids did.
Yeah, like
so yeah.
Nothing like the only thing that's sort of comparable to me today with that same atmosphere is the oh my goodness, the British talk show with the Irish guy on BBC. That he's so charming and relaxed.
Oh yes.
Oh my goodness.
Oh yes. What's his name?
I mean, he has big name guests.
That's right.
And it seems like they've all had a cocktail or two. They're just so relaxed.
Definitely.
And
smoke something.
Yeah. But it's just it's a shame Canada hasn't had anything like that for so long. But Party Game let you get to know who the Canadian talent was, and now that's not there.
It's not anywhere. Yeah. And that's very observant too of you. That's exactly what we need to do is get that happening again.
You know,
I was bugging CH for years about it, and they wanted to. They have no money either. They can barely do Tiny Talent Time.
Right.
They have no money. Nobody has any money. Now, when you take 7 people, dear, 3 on the home team, 3 as guests, and 1 as host, and try to pay them for a daily show,
right.
You really need money.
Right.
That's one day when we all win the lotto at the same time, we will put together the pilot and sell it to the States.
Yeah, no, it's
no.
And are you still writing plays?
Oh yeah.
Yes,
I'm writing a film script right now of a play with music that I just created a few years ago. First with Kneebone for his theater company, the Smile Company, and second for the First Nations people at Six Nations. They wanted it done from their voice, and so I did that with the help of Tom Hill, who is an artist fixations senior guy. Worldwide descriptions about him, and so we've got it the way we want it. We just did it this past Saturday in Toronto and sold out, big success. And I've been working now, and now I finally have some weeks coming up with nothing in my calendar, which I've been longing for since May, and I'll put a finish on this script for the film.
It was interesting, too, when you leaned over and just mentioned how Billy Van just had the lyrics of every song in his head. I didn't realize he was such a Broadway show tune.
Oh, yes. He considered himself a second Banana. You know what that position is,
right.
Do you?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Guy Kibbe, all the old guys. He knew the names of all the old actors who were the funny guys who everybody hired. They never stopped working from daylight till... And same with Billy. That's where he wanted to be, but he had such... ridiculous things happened to him and dangerous things happened to him while he was living in Los Angeles that he said fuck this and got home as fast as he could. He had people stalking him. He had people breaking into his house. He finally bought himself a Harlequin Great Dane when nobody even knew what they were, to be able to flaunt this huge animal that might take somebody's leg off if they tried to climb over his fence yet again.
Wow.
It was bizarre what he went through. He was not meant to be there at the time, and he did get the message.
My God, I know. I did get a chance to speak with him toward the end of his life. There was a Blue Jay, some animated Blue Jay cartoon series, I think, that he was involved with. So I got to tell him just how much joy I got watching him on all that stuff.
Oh, good. Do you know what he taught me? I mean, my father did too. My father was very loving of people. And when we would walk down the street when I was little and hand in hand with him with my arm straight up holding onto his hand or finger, people would stop us in the street just to tell my father how much they enjoyed his work, because he was pretty visible early on when TV and radio too, but TV, and he had his own rock and roll show on Saturday mornings, so they knew him, and I grew up with a person who would, the minute people started talking, they all got into conversation. It wasn't one way ever. It was conversation about whatever they were thinking of that day, or what, and I thought that's how people treated themselves, each other, that you just walked down the street and started talking. That was really real to me, and then I found that wasn't really real. And then when I met Billy and started to work with him, that's exactly the same thing he did, especially for veterans, especially for older men. He would go to every Legion and any town we were in. The first thing he would do after getting into the hotel, if we had to do a whole lot of publicity, he would go directly to the Legion and hang with them.
Wow.
Because his family had all been warriors.
Wow. I actually, many years ago at TV Guide, when I was writing there, interviewed Patrick McNee.
Yes.
And I remember him, just it rings a bell, because he talked about your dad, and I guess working with him, and also my memory is he had quite a crush on you.
he had a crush on my mommy.
Okay, well then there you go.
Well, no, I would be
both
delighted.
Of you, perhaps, yeah.
But I was about 4. I was about 4 when they were all hanging out.
Oh, well, there you go.
My parents were both with the old Vic Company in London when the war broke out, and so was Patrick.
Wow. Yeah, and he had great stories about working in Canada. I didn't realize.
He loved Canada. Yeah, he would stay with us sometimes early on. It was really nice, and he was a doll, and we were always giggling. My mother and Dad, when he were always giggling. It was lovely. Yeah. I have such fond memories of so many people who were very well known, but to us they were. Finley used to come and hang out with summer evenings and come for dinner and talk about things he wanted to write, and he was acting at that point at Stratford and places. So,
fantastic.
My dad spoke the first words on the Stratford stage.
Really?
Yeah, it was a welcome that Tony had written, Dr. Guthrie had written, and Daddy and he had worked together when Daddy was at the Old Vic. Tony Guthrie was the AD, the artistic director, and so he and as Tony would, because he had started 3 or 4 other theaters in major cities prior to coming to Little Stratford, Ontario. He knew what was in store when all the commitment for Shakespeare was there, that surely this thing was not going to run for a year or 2 and then end. Wow. So that's what he wrote. He wrote this exquisite short piece, not in poetry, just straight ahead. We'd like to welcome you and let you know that you are all here for a wonderful evening, but more than that, you are history. You are creating history. Wow. This thing is going to go on and on and on, and you all deserve to have a lovely time tonight. Thank you so much. Here's Richard III, and he would get off the stage, lights go to dark, suddenly a bomb would be shot off in the park outside, and then a gong, which was traditional for really classic theater, and then the lights came up on the top of the bridge with Alec Guinness sitting on top of the balcony saying, "This is the winter of our discontent."
Wow.
It was a classic thing. And I was told that because I was too little to go to opening night, period. And I was told by all Dad's friends, people who ran the theater, like John Hayes and Bruce Swerdfager and Mr. Freeman, all the people backstage making the theater work. They would always tell me about Daddy saying the first words on the stage.
Wow. It must be amazing to have that connection to Canadian theater and television, and just to be at
it is, and I didn't realize. I realized I seemed to be in on new things. I didn't seem to drag in too very often at the end of stuff. I seemed to be brought in on new things. So to me, I was always in awe of something going on that I didn't know anything about until I was there for a couple of years.
Are you still? Do you tweet? Are you involved in?
No, I can't go there. I can't. I need my space. I need my privacy. Yeah, because I do an awful lot out there.
Yeah, it's in. I talked to one comedian, and we're working on I did a story about when can you joke about Ghomeshi? When was it too soon? And this kind of And I talked to the folks at 22 Minutes and other Mike Bullard and different people.
Yeah,
and,
people who know.
Yeah, and it was interesting that the consensus was that Twitter is really Canada's talk show monologue. Like this, since we don't have one.
Well, that's right. That's right.
The dialogue
it makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, then it just put all the things you said and that we've talked about. Put your ideas, because that's really what's catching, and that's really real. That we need to have this connection again. And not just Twitter. Kids can have Twitter, but we still have enough adults who need to connect on the big screen.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Television is still...
I mean, that screen that you had the other day down there was extraordinary. Luba and I sat there with our mouths open looking at the cowboy thing.
Right. But it was, obviously the images from 7 Days and Party Game were never meant to be on a screen that was 80 feet wide. But
it worked.
It worked. It certainly worked. It holds up. Looks pretty awesome. So.
Oh, marvelous. Did you see anybody afterwards in the audience? Did you talk to anyone who was sitting outside?
Yeah, I talked to Jim Slotek. I've known from The Sun.
I know him, yeah.
He was there, and he really, really enjoyed the whole day.
God.
And, I'm so glad that you came, and it was such a pleasure, and thank you very much for letting me follow up, and I'll look forward to hearing that song. That's fantastic.
Yeah, I'll throw it in the mail.
Thank you very much, Diane.
My thanks as always to producer Phil Hong, who brings Billy Van-style party game energy to every episode of Brio TV. Thanks to my musical friends BJ Del Conte, Paul Boudra, and Stephen Dudley for the music heard on these episodes. And finally, thanks to you, listener. If you liked what you heard, please spread the word. For this episode only, I'm Gardner Westbound. Thanks for listening.